Hi friends! We're here today to talk to you about art supplies that you're going to need for your upcoming art classes, and my daughters Mary and Gianna are here to help us, and I'm Mrs. Collins. We're going to do this in 4 different sections, and the first one is going to be structure support tools, so we'll be right back and we'll show you what we need to get started. Here we are. We are going to get started with the structure support tools. Mary, could you hand me a drawing board? Alright, so this is what we'll get started with, just a simple drawing board. Now, you can use a hardboard like we did, just went to Home Depot, got some hardboard cut to a 12 by 16. You can use simple things like foam core or any kind of a board, but these tend to work really, really well. The clips on top, okay, these are Bulldog clips, and they're X-Acto Bulldog clips. They're gentle on the surface of the paper, or you can just use anything you have at home. I mean, you can just use these binder clips if you'd like. If you do get the Bulldog clips, don't get the small ones, okay, because they tend to kind of scratch the paper a bit. All right, and then just an elastic band at the bottom holds the paper in place. Now this paper is just newsprint, and it's at just a pad at the dollar store, and you can just cut it to size, and it just acts as a buffer, okay, so it doesn't pick up the grain of the wood. And there you go, you have a drawing board ready to go. You can also, buy them with the clips already in them and a handle and everything, but I'm just, showing you the kind of the economical ways of using them. And the girls used these last year and they worked really well. So Jenna, can you hand me our next structure tool, which would be a table easel? Okay, so Jenna, you guys used these last year. How did you find using these simple table easels? They fold up and then they were pretty good. How did you find, Mary?
I thought they were really awesome. I really liked how I could hold a bigger picture because of its extendable arms.
Yeah, the extendable arms come up like so, okay, if you're working on a big canvas, but it fits it fits this quite well, okay, and then the kids can work on their drawings at the proper angle, okay, so then they'll be working at it at an upright angle, which was what we're trying to achieve here. Mary, can you also I'm going to show you just a little bit higher of a upgrade of a table easel, which is not necessary at all, but you might have one of these already. You can totally use something like this. I don't, these are a little more expensive, so you don't have to go out and get something like this, but just for an option, okay, these work really well, okay, and then also the aluminum ones that we had showed in the beginning are about $10 to $15. You can always stack something behind it to keep it upright, okay, just to get started with. So those are the options there. Now, the drawing board and the table easel, the last thing I want to go through is I'll just move these over here, Mary, thanks so much, is the backdrop display. Or it's kind of the beginnings of a shadow box, but we're doing this very simply. So you get this at the dollar store. It's just a tri-fold display, okay? And we cut it in half, boom. Okay, so then you get 2 pieces. Jenna, do you have the other piece there? Okay, great, excellent. Now, for the first piece, the girls just turned it the other way so it's white, and I'll just show you how they decorated them. Okay, this is Jenna's, and we call this an art folio, and she keeps all of her artwork in here. Okay, Mary, can I show you yours? And I show them yours, and then they just take a little binder clip and put a couple of elastics at each side, and it's a nice little folder to keep all of their artwork in one place. Okay, here you go, Mary, thank you. Now, this we can use as our backdrop display. Okay, do you guys remember using this last year when we would do, a still life or something? We would place this to the side of us, and then we would drape this material over top of it, okay? Now this material can be anything. It can be like a blanket or a, oops, okay, so yeah, just kind of want to make it nicer. This was just a very simple, I think it was a drape that I got at Walmart, cut in half, you know, and then you just place your object here. Now, can you give me the art folio, Mary? And then if you want to make it a little bit more concentrated as a shadow box, getting rid of any ambient light, you can always place your art folio over top of it. So that makes a very simple shadow box. And Jenna, can you hand me the lamp? And then if you have just a simple household lamp, then we will teach them the value of one-sided lighting, classical lighting, and this can be, you know, we can get started with really anything that you have on hand for that, okay? There are other options. I mean, I was at the dollar store the other day. There's a tablecloth here. This was an old pillowcase that I got from the dollar store. I just, you know, cut and opened it up. So there are some things we can use that are very economical but very effective as well. So let's move on to our next step, which is the drawing tools. All right, let's continue on with drawing tools. So there are some basic drawing tools of paper, pencils, and some miscellaneous supplies. So starting with paper, a medium weight drawing paper, thank you, Jenna. These are about an 80 pound, and there are different types of brands. This is a Blick, this is Strathmore. So just get a medium weight, like I said, about 80 pounds. These have a little bit of a tooth to them. Okay, we can show the students different types of papers, and these are about a 9 by 12. Now, the next type of paper is a Bristol paper, and it's very smooth, and it's a good heavy weight. This is about 100 pound. These are all acid free. You can get these at different locations. You can get them at Blick or Walmart or Michael's, so you can decide what you would like to do. And a pad of paper is plenty for even 2 students. So if you want to, you know, double up on that and save some money on costs. And this is a finer paper. This is a Canson Matisse for pastels. And we'll talk a little bit more about that. And there are varying degrees of grays that we will use black and white pastel pencils on. And then we will use just a simple newsprint. Now, this is a pad that I ordered from Blick. They're inexpensive. You can even get them at the dollar store, which is totally fine. You can get a pad newsprint, and we'll just use this as kind of like a sketch pad and for different types of exercises for the kids. So that covers our paper. Next is pencils. So basically with pencils, we'll have our pencils, charcoals, and then pastel pencils. Okay, so Mary, she's just gonna, this is my pencil jar here, and here are some pencils that I've ordered. These are just the Blick brand, okay? They're an artist quality pencil. If you order, I think 12 or more, you get them for a substantially less price. So just a 2B and an HB, okay? And if you don't want to order the artist quality, you can just use the Ticonderoga, I believe they're called, and these are a fairly good pencil as well. You know, you might notice that I've got them sharpened, they look kind of a little bit funny, but I'm going to teach the kids how to properly sharpen their pencils, and we'll get into that aspect a little bit later. So a couple of pencils, HB and 2Bs are good. I mean, even a 2H, but we're not going to get too complicated with different types of pencils. So next will be charcoals. So Jenna, can you pass me the charcoal? This is my charcoal jar. There are many different types of charcoals that we can get, but this is just a basic, it's a good, quality charcoal pencil. This is a General's charcoal, and this was what it looks like. The medium, the 2B medium is the best, and that I like to use. I find the soft just breaks too easy, and the hard is a little hard to work with, but the medium is just right. Again, I've got one sharpened, the way I'll show them how to do it, so a couple of these would be great. And you can even find these at Walmart or, and again, at Michael's or Blick's. Now, I'm also going to, can I have the vine charcoal? I'm going to get the kids to also use vine charcoal, just in that box here. Okay, so just a package of medium, this is the medium vine charcoal. It's not very expensive, and it looks like this. Okay, so this is just the vine charcoal that we will combine with the condensed charcoal of the pencils. Okay, so just a little package of this, and this can be split among students as well. Now for those, I just want to show you for those who are interested in in a higher quality charcoal, you can get the nitro. But it's not necessary. Okay, I wanted to show you that option. Okay, so one more thing I'd like to show you that's really, really handy to have for your charcoal is when we go to sharpen it, the pencil shavings we're going to use in some instances, and they can be saved. So these little containers can just be bought at the dollar store and stored. Okay, your charcoal powder, even your graphite powder, can be stored in these, and then we can use them for doing backgrounds and whatnot in painting, in drawings. Okay, so let's continue on with our pastel pencils. Okay, so we need a white and a black pastel pencil. Now these are called Carbothellos, the Stabilo Carbothellos, and we just need a black and a white. Okay, they're a couple dollars each on at Blick, I believe, and these are ones that are sharpened. This is an extender. Okay, so these are handy to have too. You can get these anywhere. Just when they get really small, they're you can use up all of your pencil quite easily when you put them in the pencil extenders. But just a black and a white pastel pencil. Okay, so we will continue on with erasers. Now, these erasers you'll probably have to find at Michael's or Blick's. These are kneaded erasers. I don't know if I've seen them at Walmart or not. I'm not sure. Anyway, they're kneaded erasers with a K. Okay, and that's because you need them. Okay, and they're used as a drawing tool because you can form them to a very fine point and use them for getting into very fine lines. They're very soft on the drawing material themselves, and then when it gets filled up with graphite or something or charcoal, you can just knead it and continue using it in that way. Okay, and then another handy eraser to have is just a hard eraser. Like this is a vinyl. I got this at the dollar store the other day for the girls for school. They like these on the tips of their pencils, but just a hard eraser and a kneaded eraser. Okay, so that. Now, let's continue on. No, we're not going to use that right now, but we're going to continue on with our blending stumps. So Mary, could you give me the tortillons? Okay, that's fine. Now, the tortillons, we did not use these in art class last year, but I would like to show the kids how to use them this year. So they're very inexpensive. It's just basically rolled paper, okay, a blending stump, and you can get these pretty much anywhere as well. Okay, now let's continue on. I'm going to ask for the 1-inch graph paper. Okay, Mary, you have that. Oh, the 1-inch graph paper, Jenna, actually. Thank you. Now, we're going to be using this for all different sorts of exercises. And I just bought this book, I think, this graph paper on Amazon. But it's really, really important to get the 1-inch square. Now, these can easily be just printed off. I can send you this format, and I just printed this off the other day, and you can have that option, or you can get a little book of them. But the kids are going to be doing some work on the graph paper, and then also this I will send you as well, and it's just for shape replication exercises, and just to be able to print off some of these for the kids to have for their exercises. One other type of paper that I would like to just discuss briefly is the wide ruled lined notebook paper, which they'll need some. Okay, this I got at the dollar store, 200 sheets for $1. Okay, so onward we go, and these are these are our miscellaneous drawing tools. I would like if they could get an ultra fine tip Sharpie and then just a fine point. These two items will be working in some ink work as well. So I would, and this I just got at the dollar store the other day, the ultra fine tip Sharpie, okay? So you might even just have these as household items they can use. A skewer, okay? This will be a measuring tool, and these are extremely inexpensive. You can get a whole package of them for $1 or $2, and they'll just need one of these each, okay? Now, there's a couple of items here, utility knife and sandpaper. Okay, so a utility knife are just these, I got these at the dollar store, 3 for $1, or else you can get a little bit higher quality one. This X-Acto blade is quite nice, and I saw it at Walmart the other day for maybe $3 or $4 with some replacement blades. So anyway, they just need one, just a utility knife, and this is for sharpening the pencils, and I will show them how to do this very carefully. Okay, and after they sharpen them. Okay, this is a pencil that has, this is a Conte pencil that I sharpened, but I did not sand, okay? So once they're sanded, and I have the sandpaper, then they come to a very fine point. Now, this I just got at the dollar store, a package of sandpaper for $1, and they come in little squares like this. After I took it out of this pack, I just put it in a little sandwich bag, and then we go and we just sand the paper down to a point, and then we keep our pencil shavings and then just put them in our little container that we save for using for later. Okay, so sandpaper, and then let me just see here, what else have we got? Sandpaper, the handheld mirror. So this again was an item from the dollar store, this size, okay, or you can get a little bit of a bigger size. And these are very, very valuable tools for learning about proportions and measuring as well, okay? So just a little handheld mirror, a ruler, okay? And since we will be doing a few exercises with circles, you can, the kids can just find like a plate or a cup or something to trace, but these are so inexpensive. You can get this, at the dollar store for $1 and just a little compass, and then they can make whatever size of circle that they need. Okay, so it's a handy tool, but especially a ruler they will need. And this I also got at the dollar store, and it's a nice metal ruler, okay, and it's good for if you have to trim or cut or anything like that. Plastic ones will work as well. I mean, if you have that, but I'm just showing you the best supplies to get. Okay, so let's continue on here. Of course, we'll need just some household items like some paper towels. Another really handy thing is the carbon paper. I gave we used this a lot with some projects last year. I don't know if we are going to specifically use it. It's very inexpensive. You can get a whole bunch of them for cheap, but the carbon paper is a very useful tool to have as well. But I don't want to, I don't want to do too many. Well, let's just double check here and make sure that we've gone over all of our drawing tools that we needed to go through. And then we'll go on to the next two categories, which is very, very simple. Study tools and protective tools. And basically, the study tools will incorporate some of the wide-ruled notebook paper. And just, could you hand me your notebooks as well? The notebook paper we'll be using for notes, but also just for doing shapes on as well. And if they have just a little notebook, then they can, they can store, these are the girls' notebooks from last year, they can just write out a few notes of descriptions of art terms that I might give them along the way. So this is handy to have as well. Okay, so that goes for study tools, and then I call these protective tools because these are what they can keep the art folios that we showed you at the beginning would be a protective tool. and then basically these pencil cases. So basically, I would say the hard erasers, things that don't. I mean, even their let's just see here, like their utility knives and stuff like that can go in something like this. But it's nice to have a hard-bodied pencil case, because after you do all the work of sharpening these instruments, okay, you don't want them to snap off in a pencil case that is soft. So this keeps them nice and tucked in, safe. And then with the vine charcoal, you can also store it in another compartment. These are at Walmart. I think I got them for $2 or something, as Sterilite. There's many different kinds that you can get, but it's a suggestion that is really, really something that really helps to keep your tools and your instruments in good shape. And then of course, back again to the art folios that we talked about earlier would be under the protective tools, as just something that will protect the artwork and keep them organized. So we will just have a closing goodbye, and I will send out these lists of supplies to you all to get started on our art classes. Thanks for joining us for our art supply video, and thank you Mary and Gianna for all of your help today. And I just can't wait to get started with art classes coming up soon.